Good evening and welcome to live Chelsea football this Wednesday evening, all coming to you right across the many available platforms, YouTube and Facebook and the Fifth Stand app later on, and you can stand by for entertainment. The WSL season has reached half-time and the reigning champs are looking good again. Chelsea are away at Aston Villa this evening and the incentive could not be greater. Avoid defeat and a new WSL unbeaten record will be set. Win and the Blues will go top of the table. Last time out in WSL terms for Chelsea it was Manchester United. And it finished 2-1 to Chelsea in the end, a little bit sticky, but not necessarily the greatest performance, but job done. Man U were top. Pernille Harder scored the opener for Chelsea on 30 minutes, and then that was a brilliant equaliser from Lauren James, Reece James's sister, curling in there for 1-1. Man U top of the table before this game. Chelsea took first place by winning it. Fran Kirby here just a few minutes after Lauren James had done that, making it 2-1. Another brilliant season for Fran Kirby, where she has become the top scorer in Chelsea women's history, overtaking one Eni Aluko, who is now upstairs at Aston Villa. And Aston Villa is where we are now, and the two poles of the table involved tonight. As you can see here, Chelsea with 2 games in hand on Manchester United, having played fewer games of both their rivals then, really. Chelsea second, sandwiched between both Manchesters. Both of them played and won at the weekend, while the Blues game at Bristol fell foul of the weather. But what a record, 8 wins, 2 draws, not beaten, 26 points. It's been very impressive too, including European progress. Sam Parkin with me to watch this one. It's been a great season already, Sam, and only had about half of it.
Yeah, going really well. Obviously on the cusp of something really special this evening. I think you just touched on it there as well, Ben. You know, having been across these games for the last few years, I think they'll be looking at that Champions League this season, definitely, and thinking with the experience and the quality they've got within the squad now, I think that's just where they've fallen a little bit short. So, yeah, that's certainly something to look ahead to in the weeks and months ahead. But going brilliantly in the league, and you know, got the opportunity tonight to rest a few of the big guns. Not to say that Aston Villa might improve tonight, considering they've made a change in terms of their managerial structure, but a game you'd expect Chelsea to win.
Well, here is the Villa side. They're in their debut season, remember. They got a decent draw at the weekend. New signing Iwabuchi scored on her debut in that. More than half the side is new, and so is the management setup, with Marcus Bigno now part of the picture. 3 changes here, Ale, Hansen and Hales all coming in to start here. 5 changes made by Emma Hayes tonight, including in goal, where Carly Telford gets a red game. There's also a first WSL start for Jessie Fleming in midfield. Wrighton, Charles and Ingle all scored last time out in a brilliant game against Man City, and they are all brought into the 11 tonight by Emma Hayes, who's got a couple of 17-year-old would-be debutants on the bench as well. One of the incoming players there, Guro Wrighton. Sam Kerr with her there, with Fran Kirby amongst the subs. The last outing, Kirby was on the bench then too. I just mentioned Man City away in the quarter-finals of the Conti Cup. What a game that was. A couple of goal of the season contenders there from players who've been brought in to start tonight. Sophie Ingle doesn't score many, but that was a beauty. And Niamh Charles as well. Hopefully have similar entertainment this evening too. One of the reasons Chelsea have the games in hand we've just seen there is that this fixture itself is a rearranged one. It was originally due to be played in mid-October, but Aston Villa had COVID issues, as they did actually in their men's squad at that time. In terms of the record that Sam and I have alluded to, unless Villa win this, and it really would be one of the game's bigger shocks if that did happen, Chelsea will set a new record of 32 unbeaten WSL matches A record currently, Sam, jointly held by Chelsea and Man City on 31.
Yeah, it would be an incredible achievement, and the consistency at any level to achieve that type of number is astonishing, really. So, again tonight, just about the attitude, really. If a few of your more experienced, better players do slacken off, often the opposition can smell blood, and that gives them the onus to go and produce something. They'll be really motivated. Obviously, we touched on Marcus Bignot coming in. They'll be looking to impress him, and Emma Hayes was speaking really fondly of his achievements in the women's game when he was previously at Birmingham City, I believe, and very good at setting up a team defensively, and that's where Aston Villa clearly need to improve.
Second from bottom, Villa. A couple of league wins to go with a couple in the Cup too. They were behind twice at the weekend here against Reading, but snatched a good draw right at the end. Before that, they were hit for 7 by City. Clearly, this is a work in progress with heavy recruitment in the off-season following promotion. Like Chelsea, they were given their respective title, championship winners, with a few games still to go. Obviously, COVID curtailed the campaign, both Chelsea and Villa, albeit Villa a little more clearly out in front when it all stopped. Harder got the touch on the throw. This is one of their incoming players. This means Ale. They met this time last year in the Conti Cup with the Blues en route to lifting that trophy, you may remember. It finished 3-0 to Chelsea, with all 3 goals coming in the second half. A little bit of a reshuffle at the back. Sam and I taking a close look at here. Jonna Andersson only on the bench would normally be left back. As if perhaps Magda Eriksson is in there.
It certainly looked like they were starting with a back 4 with Charles playing left side at the back, but as the game settled down, it might be a back 3, which is, I believe, the way that Aston Villa went in their last fixture, so maybe Emma Hayes has had a look at that. Charles on the ball now, certainly playing a bit higher than an orthodox left back, you would think.
Does look that way. Jessie Fleming in there, Canadian. First WSL start for her. Kerr with the back heel. Looking for her fellow new arrival, Pernille Harder. They've both slotted in seamlessly. Here is Niamh Charles. Not a good header clear. Great chance, wonderful finish. And Chelsea lead inside 3 minutes. What a goal that is from Kerr.
Brilliant strike. Maybe her first involvement in the game. Really loose header defensively from the Aston Villa perspective. Just a hopeful ball put in by Charles. Should be able to deal with that. You can't head it down into that area, but don't take anything away from that strike. And on the back of, I wouldn't say in different performances, but passed up a few opportunities against Manchester United recently. What a way to start, and that will do the confidence the world of good in front of goal.
8th WSL goal in her debut WSL season. A wonderful finish. As you say, helped out by the defending Turk, but that half volley could have gone anywhere quite easily. There's your instant fit. Much heralded signing by Emma Hayes, as was that of Pernille Harder, the UEFA Player of the Year. Harsh defensive lesson early on for Villa there. Sophie Ingle keeping it moving. Harder's first touch has killed it nicely. Right into Charles. Neatly done. Kerr right in here, looking for the little pullback. It'll be the first corner of the game.
Really nice football coming down the left-hand side. Opening 5 minutes, Wrighton and Charles interchanging positions. The worst possible start for the home side. Spoke about that defensive record, defensive deficiencies, obviously highlighted by that heavy defeat to Manchester City. Should be better confidence going forward, given that they recovered a point last time out against Reading, but certainly somewhere that Chelsea can exploit, you'd like to think.
You're going to see Chelsea with much of the ball all night long, you'd imagine. Behind 2 times over they were in that Reading game, but Reading hit for 5 by Chelsea the other day. Just by way of perspective, Charles seeing tons of the ball early on here, Wrighton just dinking it through for a lovely touch on that. And anywhere will do as it's cleared behind by Alicia and Dow.
A really good start from those 2 players. Charles just couldn't wrap her left foot around it once she reached the byline, but you can see Wrighton's got all the guile and creativity. Give Charles the licence to bomb round her on the overlap.
Thought about it first time, news Charles. Now it comes in. It's an inviting ball, and Eriksson attacking it around the back. Chelsea's captain given back cheaply to Sophie Ingle. England. All the way by Evers. He's done her job well there. Marissa Evers, one of the German contingent at Villa, not one of the new ones actually. She was with them for the promotion year last term, but they have brought in a whole host of players from the Bundesliga to help them cope with the higher level that is the WSL. Certainly seems to be the place to be, or at least one of the places to be at the moment. Here comes Niamh Charles again. It was just a tackle come shot that. It'll be another corner. Niamh Charles scored a, I'm sure she won't mind me saying, slightly surprise goal, but absolutely brilliant. The 89th minute to take the Man City tie to extra time last week.
A bit of a risky challenge, Ale coming out. I think Charles maybe could have just towed that beyond her opponent. Could have been something in it for Chelsea. Opted to take the strike on and gets the decision.
Seven minutes in, she must have had 2 dozen touches. Another tasty cross coming in. It's Beth England who got a little piece of it.
Straight at Beth England, that one, so tough to go for goal. You want to be running onto it really. If that was a couple of yards towards the target, she may have been able to work the goalkeeper.
Villa have got a former Chelsea player in their defensive line. Anita Asante is likely to have a very busy night. A bit of Villa possession inside the Chelsea half here. Wabuchi, the new signing there. She's not going to catch that. Nice to see Carly Telford getting a bit of game time. Very much part of the Chelsea furniture. Well into a second spell now. Played the Man United game. And Katrin Berger has played all the other league matches. Carly Telford has won all the domestic medals on offer. Ten years ago began her first Chelsea spell and came back in 2017 for that little in-between season that we all enjoyed so much. And Emma Hayes, it was called the Spring Series, which they did to try and kind of fill out in between. And the women's game then became a autumn to spring campaign. So they had a short thing called the Spring Series, and Chelsea were brilliant and won it. There's a lot of recruiting that went on that year, 2017. Some have since left again, but some very important players remain. Mjelde and Cuthbert, and Eriksson and Anderson came in that year. Dominant 10 minutes to be expected, really. Heavy touch brings Ingle back into it.
Yeah, you just want to get that second goal when you're in such ascendancy. Remember, I think the last time they were defeated against Everton in the FA Cup, it was the exact replica of this. Everton could not get out. Chelsea couldn't get the second goal, ended up losing the game. I think that's the last defeat. So
it is.
I'm hoping I'm not a bad omen, but you know, started brilliantly, really slick, especially down this left-hand side. I think Harder's yet to really affect the game. Looks like she's playing tucked in off the right-hand side. It's all come down this left where Brighton and Charles have linked up brilliantly.
That is the only defeat in all competitions this campaign. 2-1 away at Everton in the FA Cup. There's only been a couple of draws beyond that. One at Arsenal. Actually drew the WSL opener away at Man U. So Kerr scored on her debut then. Everything else has been a W. Seven in a row, incidentally, coming into this since that 1-1 draw at Arsenal in what was a top-of-the-table clash. Flag up here. That was certainly close to a WSL defeat and the wonderful streak ending. Arsenal scored in the 86th minute, I think it was, and it was a stoppage-time own goal to rescue Chelsea to keep this unbeaten run going then, and it still is now, many wins later. Charles into Kerr. Right. Kerr, awkward. Laid back by England to Harder. Jessie Fleming. Nice little drop of the shoulder. Here comes Mjelde. Bain shout for handball, but it will be a corner. There's some nice football in there.
It really was. Unfortunately, that final delivery from Mjelde blocked at source, but lovely cutback from Sam Kerr. Intelligent movement. That's why she gets in so often for chances, and I don't think that's just putting it into an area. I think that's picking out a teammate. It was Bethany England who recycled the ball, but just couldn't get the shot away. But great football again.
Crossing again here. That was into a good area. Should be slightly disappointed it wasn't met with a firmer head, but it will be a Chelsea ball. Charles. Fleming took her half the ball. Eden Hazard, the Dutch midfielder, just offered a glimpse of stealing the ball away. This is the Baxis Stadium where Walsall play, incidentally, in case you're wondering. Papi Djilabodji played his 52 seconds as a Chelsea player once upon a time. Out as far as Brighton, and Beth England takes over. Great shot from Bethany England there, clips the bar. It was so nearly two. I'm not sure whether Lisa Weiss had it covered, Sam.
Just great awareness where she is on the pitch. Didn't even have a look, I think. Just instantaneously takes the strike on. Brighton again, good play. Just digs it out. Really good effort. The goalkeeper's not going to get anywhere near it.
She must have thought that was good for 2-0 when it left the boot. That looked lovely. Harder. Kerr. Good one just into that channel. Wrighton wants it in the box. In it comes. Fleming. Eve Charles again. She won't have many games where she's this far forward when she's nominally at least a defender. Pernille Harder. Challenge coming in on the stretch from Avers. Breather for the Villa defence as Lisa Weiss clears. Villa's number one. Came here for regular first-team football. Lisa Weiss has been back up at a club that wins everything all the time, Lyon, but wanted to play. Harder. Neat keep ball, here's Guro Wrighton. Switch finds the ever forward Niamh Charles. Captain Eriksson, back to Charles. Fancy footwork, got away with it. Because Kerr was able to pinch it off Sophie Haywood. Stina Larsson is a number 9, doing her best to chase everything. A job that Sam will have not enjoyed very much a few times. Probably getting 2 or 3 touches in 20 minutes if she's lucky. Sam Kerr, another Chelsea corner. It's pretty relentless, the pressure.
Really aggressive start as well, I think, from Chelsea. You can see what Emma Hayes has wanted out of this performance, to go after the opposition from the off. Just the positions of the 2 centre-halves from the off, really. I think the 2 fullbacks aren't necessarily both going together. Mjelde, I think, is the security. She'll stay back if Charles bombs down the left-hand side, and they've got Ingle as well in there. But just Eriksson there, just taking the ball in the opposition's half. Really aggressive start, the starting positions.
And then just when Iwabuchi thought they might get the ball in Chelsea's half here, Mjelde across on the cover. Chelsea start the build again, this time from the back with Millie Bright, who's not had much defending to do here, let's be honest. Started all but one of the WSL games, Millie Bright. One of the original title winners still left. There are 5 of them. 2015. Nice take from Iwabuchi, but Eriksson stuck to her like glue. Robbed by Stina Larsson. There's another touch for the Norwegian. Well, you can try. I don't think it was a Chelsea ball, as Guro Wrighton was suggesting. This is as much of a changed side as we've seen, I think. 10 games in coming into this, 8 players were ever present, not always starting, but Sam mentioned a chance to rotate it a bit. Not often you get the congested schedule we see quite so often in the men's game. Yes, there is occasional midweek action, but not as often. The league season obviously not nearly as long in the WSL, but this being a rearranged game, and Tottenham at Kings Meadow on Sunday. And it is a seriously good squad. You look at how dominant Chelsea are in this match and you think who's not playing. For various reasons. Needed a bit of thinking, but the free kick's been given.
Yeah, I thought the referee had missed that momentarily. Definitely was a foul, and probably an indication of Aston Villa, how they're going about it at the moment. Just sitting off about around to the halfway line and then trying to nick the ball. Haven't been able to do anything on the transition to this point. We just heard the manager there saying chance, so obviously they'll probably have earmarked set pieces undoubtedly.
As any good underdog will, approaching the halfway point of the first half. We've been an awkward flick and may still be. Sophie Hayward here for Villa. Rare to have the ball this high up the field.
It's got to be every manager's worst nightmare the night before the game. Conceding so early when you've set up to be hard to beat. Back 5, you'll be looking at, you know, getting to half an hour and getting to half time, and then altering your setup and your substitutions come into play. All of that out the window after what, a couple of minutes.
Hayward here. Toe in, I think that was Jessie Fleming with it. And down. Close to Natalie Haig. Nicely read. Nicely passed too. Ingle to Harder. England is in the middle. Harder's debut season has not been anything less than we would have expected. She's played all the league matches, not always from the start. 3 goals, all come in home wins, incidentally. Scored against Benfica too, in the Champions League. Sam mentioned pre-kickoff, very much part of the plans for progress there. You feel like the knocking on the door has been louder over the years. Beaten semi-finalists in the last, not the last 2 years, but the last 2 appearances in the competition. Weren't in it last year. That is the next level.
I think, yeah, in previous campaigns you could see some areas where they needed to improve in some positions. Don't see that anymore. I know it's hard to judge this 25 minutes, but the slickness of the play, I think there's loads of flexibility in the front players that can play all manner of roles, which is a big positive. And the quality has risen over the last 3 or 4 years. They looked really short when they came up against the Wolfsburg of this world, but don't see that gap anymore. So great opportunity to fight on all fronts this season. I think it's hard to get the 4 players in the team. It's probably been trying to find a formula. It's probably at times 3 or 4 options to play that central role. So you've got Fran Kirby as well. So
Sure it's not playing here, it would be up and helping.
Sure it's a headache for Emma Hayes right now, but a nice headache. I'm sure there's worse things for managers to be dealing with currently.
Charles upended. Eriksson winning it back, riding the challenges, and that's a free kick. Looking for England, only just a bit too much on that. It's the one thing you might say, despite the domination of possession, Sam. 26 minutes played. Obviously, you've had the one off the top of the bar as well as the goal, but Suffice has not really been making saves, has she?
No, just thinking that. They've made good initial movements and passes into the final third and not really built on that. I think Harder's not influenced the game in terms of shots or crosses, but she's taken it in beautifully when she's received it. You can say the same about Wrighton down this left-hand side, but not been able to cause too much problem for the Aston Villa goalkeeper would be a criticism. It's kind of just ambled along the last 10 minutes. Villa have had a couple of raids themselves without testing Telford at the other end, but Chelsea in control of the ball. I suppose it's just moving it a bit quicker and showing that intent a bit earlier when you're so comfortable and relaxed in the game.
Yes, it is as comfortable a 1-0 as you might see, but it is only one.
It's taking that extra square pass out of your play. When Aston Villa have committed a few bodies forward, can you go for the jugular rather than just relaxing and start popping it around, which is easy to do.
Charles clipping it towards right, it's over her. It's Marcus Bigno there. Bignot. Do we go with the French? Bigno? Can't be Big Nose, sadly. That would be a wonderful name. I seem to remember him playing for a fair few Football League clubs. You ever come up against him?
Yeah, a few times. He had a good spell under Ian Holloway just down the road, QPR. I think that's where I came up against him most, yeah. Right back. Maybe ventured into midfield on occasion as well.
Gemma Davies is still their coach, but Bignot brought in, was announced as what they call an interim manager just the other day, actually. It's got other irons in the fire in terms of the workload.
I think he did take an EFL job briefly. Certainly was at Solihull Moors for a period and involved with England, so I'm surprised that he's not maybe been handed one or two more opportunities in the Football League, considering his reputation. He did get the gig maybe at Grimsby, unless I've gone mad.
He was part of the Birmingham ladies set-up. They actually tended to play their games at that point at Solihull Moors, actually. Looks as if Marissa Avers is going to be okay here. We're just going to have another look at the goal by which Chelsea lead in the 3rd minute. One bad header, one great finish, Sam.
Yeah, defensively, Marcus Bignot won't be pleased with that at all. He's got to head it anywhere else, really. It's difficult backtracking, but Kerr catches it absolutely beautifully. It's a great strike on her weaker side. Been good this evening so far, linked it well. As I said, the movement is always there. That's why she gets so many chances, either created by herself or from her teammates, but maybe not got the goals to show for the amount of opportunities she's had so far this season. So let's hope that's a sign of things to come tonight.
Got a bundle against West Ham, scored all 3 that came away there. The first goal was at Man United in the early season draw. One of the 9 against Bristol City, where Chelsea was supposed to be playing at the weekend. Good one on the counter against Man City as well in the victory over them. The 1-0 winner versus Brighton as well. All kinds of goals, the handful she's got, Sam Kerr. The point we're making about the strength and depth, she would be, for most clubs, the absolute superstar of your team. At Chelsea, she is one of several top players. Brighton allowed to turn, maybe a little too easily. Ingle moves it quickly, that's the pass that's important, that one there. Niamh Charles getting the better of Hayward, but not the better of Ale, who got the block in. Another Chelsea corner though on the half hour.
It's been a great avenue down the left-hand side, and Sophie Ingle coming into the picture there as well. Strikes a lovely ball, pinged it into Charles, just unfortunate when she got to the byline that she wasn't able to just stand it up. That's what you want to do there, stand up towards the far post. Easily cut out by a Villa defender.
Sante cut it out. Bucci will be desperate to show what she's got, but not been a fun night for the Villa forwards thus far, that's for sure. Got a few goals at Bayern, but was one of their fringe players. She was there at the same time as Melanie Leupolz, who's on Chelsea's bench and generally plays. In fact, she was the only player to have started every league match until tonight, Melanie Leupolz. Everyone else had missed at least one. Not her till now. She can at least keep her ever-present status going if she does get off the bench. She's not an ever-present starter. England in the box, waiting for the cross, and it was coming right onto her head until Lisa Weiss came and plucked it out the sky.
That's what Charles should have been looking for from the left-hand side from the previous attack. Sam Kerr just under cooking it as Bethany England was poised. Good raid again down the right-hand side from Mjelde though. Intelligent player.
Sloppy from Ingle. Iwabuchi wins it high. Mjelde gets the tackle in. There was only one option in the box, Sam. She was nearly found.
Was it just Harder? I think it was just making the run towards the far post as well, but just cut out by the goalkeeper.
Look at the space for Fleming. Time for touches. And the ball moves quicker than any person can. Charles. Harder quickly sorting her feet out. Nicely done. Emma will definitely want more challenges on this goalkeeper. More challenges for the goalkeeper, should I say. Maybe one here. All about the quality of the delivery, and it's there this time, all right. Bethany England has powered the header in. It's 2-0.
Brilliant striker's finish. I think it's Kerr again who pulls into the wide area, and this time absolutely on the money with a delivery. And then it's just a battle, isn't it? Who is more determined? It's a wonderfully clipped, flighted delivery, and the Aston Villa defenders there in close proximity just don't get off the deck. Bethany England is just more aggressive, doesn't matter really about the direction. It ends up brilliantly in the top corner, but it's about getting the contact and then just hoping. I don't think she directs it there necessarily, but brilliant finish. Looks great when it ends up in the top corner. Well played, the two front players. Chelsea very much in command now, needed the second goal and got it. Some time to spare before half-time.
Bit of space here for Ale. Challenge coming in from Niamh Charles, and in the nick of time too. That could have been dangerous. A new forward with the opener. And, a long time regular with the second. Just past 5 years as a Blue. Both in England. She's got a battle on with Kirby and maybe others to be top scorer. And even though they say it's only about the team winning, everybody knows it matters. Top scorer last year with 14 league goals in 15 games. Top scorer the year before actually as well with 12. But Kirby and Kerr and England all in that mix.
Kerr looks to be playing wide on the right-hand side now. Harder's come infield and just shows you that versatility. It's great when you've got players that can play different roles, keeps the opposition guessing. Kerr's got her goal now, she finds herself wide. England now on the score sheet. Maybe Harder will have an opportunity to influence the game a bit more centrally.
Fleming trying to do that from a deeper central role. Bucci battling back to win it. She'd rather be doing something further forward. But it's off her for a Chelsea throw there. Made one and scored one on her Villa debut. Twice coming from a goal down against Reading for a 2-2 draw. This would appear a far tougher test than that. Forward by Ingle. Fleming again. Harder. Worth a hit, and it's a good one too. Nearly dipped in.
Yeah, speculative, but not far away at all. Similar to the definitely England effort. Certainly finished up. Same direction, a bit further out. Takes the ball in wonderfully well. So composed on the football to wind it up a little bit on her weaker side, but only missed by a yard or two.
There's another player there who's had even more heartbreak than Chelsea have in European competition, and another who can hopefully bridge what is now, as Sam rightly said, a narrowing gap, if indeed there even is a gap. Twice lost a final with Wolfsburg to the nemesis of Lyon, just as Wolfsburg were Chelsea's nemesis. Lyon were for Wolfsburg. Harder was the top scorer in the Champions League a couple of years ago. Actually scored against Chelsea in the competition once upon a time too. The strides made have been excellent. I remember being at Wheatsheaf Park in Staines when Chelsea played Wolfsburg that first time, and it was a huge gap. Harder in there again then, and wanted a free kick. Maybe even the challenge before it could have been a foul in Chelsea's favour, and none of them given. Well, maybe not.
First one maybe, wasn't it? Larson, I think, maybe a slight tug. The following two didn't was too much there.
No messing from Millie Bright. Very quiet night for Carly Telford. I wonder if she might prefer really to be a bit busier, even if it meant the risk of conceding. Break in play, the treatment required here. Very comfortable first half here with Chelsea, in case you missed it pre-match, going for what will be a new unbeaten record in the WSL, and 2 goals to the good as we approach half-time. With Kerr early and England moments ago. Shania Howes was dropped the last game for the arrival of Iwabuchi, but always plays and is back in the mix from the start here. Scored a couple. Both in a win last month, actually, at Bristol City. One of the 2 games Villa have won. Neatly done, Iwabuchi. Popped it past Fleming, couldn't find a teammate. It's out by Sophie Ingle. It's a lovely take that from England. It's too much on the pass though. That's a short one. It's been read by Wrighton. That was probably a foul, but advantage should be played. And good refereeing. Really good, because quite often they would whistle too early there, and it's quickly obvious that there was no advantage, Sam.
No, Wrighton, such a clever player. Really enjoyed watching her in this first half. Just always looks in control of the situation. She's on the ball. Big reason for that fast Chelsea start. And I think, above any of the other players, real licence to go wherever she pleases. She's over on the right-hand side at times.
It's her delivery too. There were a couple over. It was just over them. Maren Mjelde. Millie Bright, delicate ball that was into Kerr, who wants it back and will have to fight to get it back from Santana, in fact doesn't. Chelsea first to most of the second balls here. Wrighton again in with the challenge. 90 seconds left of the first half, plus there'll be a little bit to add on for the 2 injuries and the 2 goals. Nodded on by Larson. A blatant shirt pull. Nadine Hansen with the foul. Really ought to be a yellow card, and indeed will be. And there is Eni Aluko, no longer Chelsea's all-time top scorer. I'm sure she's been in contact with Fran Kirby. She's got the upstairs role, got the Petr Cech role at Aston Villa now. First name taken, Nadine Hansen, yellow carded for that. Classic central midfielder's got the wrong side of you foul. Harder. And Harder again. It's quite the room, I don't think, for the shot that she wanted to take there, but she's battling back to win it, and England is in there too, with Wright an outsider. It'll be another corner as we enter first half stoppage time. Crucial for Villa. They don't let another one in here. It is a save there for Lisa Weiss. She's not made many. Yes, once hit her bar and a couple of other moments of being close, but considering how much ball Chelsea have had within 30 yards of the goal, and Emma Hayes is quite a stickler for these things. It won't just be being pleased because we're 2 up. I think she'll want more.
Haven't really been able to get behind Aston Villa. Balls from wide areas have caused them problems. Shots from distance, probably because they are quite deep. Got up to the ball on occasions, but think of the 2 goals. First one's just a defensive mistake, beautifully finished, and then the second one, ball from out wide, and then just a centre forward who is very determined. I think she's been excellent actually, Bethany England. Hit the bar, scored a goal. Really played well across the front line.
Half a minute or so. England challenging. Asante back to Weiss. Ingles had a very comfortable evening there. Chelsea going top as it stands, and setting a new record as it stands. A good first half began very smartly indeed with Sam Kerr's wonderful half volley inside 3 minutes, and she made the second 2 for Bethany England, who nodded in, having herself earlier hit the crossbar. So a good night for the forwards already, with 45 minutes to come. A little bit of history on the way for Chelsea, as long as they can keep hold of this half-time lead at Walsall. They lead Aston Villa by 2-0. It was more of a contest this time last week. Stand by for an absolute cup cracker when Chelsea went to Manchester City in the Continental Cup Tyres quarter-final. Have a look at this.
Not dealt with there at all by Greenwood. It's fallen for loopholes and it's squeezed in. 1-0 Chelsea. The holders lead, and it's right on half-time too. Melanie Leupolz. Steph Horton on the line did her best. She couldn't keep it out. It's a mistake from Greenwood, certainly. And Chelsea are in front. And it's deserved too. Berger just there in time. I'm entirely sure Eriksson wanted that. The touch is a little costly here. And this is a right old mess, and it's ended with an equalising goal. Chloe Kelly against the run of play. And entirely avoidable from Chelsea's point of view. And out of nothing, it's 1-1. Delicately done by Berger. Chase on for Kerr here. Lovely weight of pass and no question of offside. Sam Kerr here with the cut back. Harder! Oh, that would have been a lovely counter-attacking goal. And it so nearly was. Plenty up. Here comes the corner. Chelsea heads jumping, no one's cleared it yet, but Hemp's buried it, and Manchester City have pinched the lead, and there's only 5 minutes left to play. So many Blues bodies in there, but none of them could deal with it somehow. So miserly in defence normally, but not with the 2 goals tonight. Time running out. Chelsea needs something, and quickly. In comes the corner, Eriksen's up. England will try and keep the attack alive. Still all the bodies forward. Clipped in. This is Niamh Charles. Oh, it's brilliant! Last action hero. It's a stunner from the sub, who's only been on the field a few minutes. 2-2 with a minute to play. A rare, precious and important goal from Niamh Charles. And it looks like extra time is coming. No flag here. Pernille Harder, full of energy, striding forward and into the box too. It's beaten out by Barnsley. That's right on, and it's in. Extra time lead. Can the Blues hold on this time? Great work by Harder. Bardsley's save ended up meaning an empty net. And there is Guro Reiten. This is some quarter-final. Well, you wouldn't bet against another goal, would you? Manchester City, now the side that need it. They might get it too. Oh, that's brilliantly done by Stanway. And just as brilliant by Berger as it goes behind for a corner. That's a brave bit of keeping. Without that, it's 3-3. Can Chelsea hold on? Or indeed stretch it? Leopold's here. Harder. Plenty in the middle. He's in towards Leopold's. And again. Man City, well, anywhere will do. They've got to get it down the other end. This is Sophie Ingle! Oh, what a goal! That'll do it! 4-2 in extra time. Sophie Ingle, not in this team for her goals and never has been. That's wonderful. What a goal. What a game and what a comeback. It's going to be 7 straight wins, surely, for this brilliant Chelsea team. And the holders are heading into the semi-finals.
Yes, lots of silverware, hopefully, on the cards for Chelsea, and maybe it's the Conti Cup again. But in WSL terms, 2 goals clear in this one without the need for extra time. Away at Aston Villa, second from bottom. Chelsea trying to go top for now and set a new unbeaten WSL record, and they had a perfect start in that regard with this wonderful finish from Sam Kerr. Natalie Haig with the head down, anywhere but there, I suppose, from her point of view. Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. Just need to head it back from where it's come from, really, but don't take anything away from the finish. It's a wonderful strike, and Chelsea started in really determined mood. Nothing more than they deserved, and brilliant to see Kerr with that opening goal.
Bossing the ball. Niamh Charles coming forward from the left side. Basically played in Villa's half for the entire half. This is Jessie Fleming looping in a ball that wasn't very well cleared. Brighton got out the way, and Bethany England, wonderful awareness of everything there.
Yeah, you can see Reiten in an essential position there. She's been key for Chelsea. Intelligent play, looking it into Bethany England. That was really unfortunate. I love the awareness of where she was on the pitch, just to strike goalwards without even having a look.
And that was just a little glimpse at something that was to follow. Kerr clipping one in. That was a pretty comfortable take for Weiss, but soon enough she got the radar absolutely bang on in search of Bethany England, and there was the header that made it 2.
Yeah, I didn't realise she was actually involved in the build-up. Brilliant centre-forward play. Little set back to Fleming. Doesn't admire it, doesn't show up again, gets in the box, in between the posts. And Emma Hayes made a brilliant tactical decision, didn't she? Midway through that half, put Kerr wide right, Harder centrally. And it's Kerr who delivers a peach of a cross and that's just about determination. I don't think she means to put it in that top corner, but deserves it for the endeavour.
Pernille Harder looking to add to her debut season tally of goals. That wasn't a bad effort. Probably like to see a little bit more of her influencing the game and bossing a less experienced Aston Villa defence in the second half. That is coming shortly, but before we have the second half there, let's have a little reminder of what happened last time out in the WSL for the Blues. It was a big day then as well, with Chelsea trying to go above Man United to the top of the table, just as they are tonight, and on that occasion, they managed it.
Cuthbert managed to win that. Here's she. Kerr's touch. She's chasing her own flick on here, Sam Kerr. Can she make room for a shot? Herbst managed to kick it away. First real chance of note for Chelsea. Found the way of the Australian. Pretty much all her own work too. Kirby. Well, she's totally taken Turner out of the game. It's Kerr again. Couldn't hit the target this time. Angle was tight, in fairness to Sam Kerr. Herbst made sure she didn't have much of the goal to aim at. Fairly satisfied with what she's seen so far, Emma Hayes. She won it back off Grunin. Here's Kerr, one-on-one with Herbst again. And still it won't go in for Sam Kerr. All Chelsea's chances are falling her way. Hansen. Oh, and the shot is wide from press, and that is as good as it's got for United so far. G. Good play from loopholes. This is Kirby. Kicked away by Herbst again. Sam Kerr amongst those in the middle, wondering why it wasn't played her way. There's the cry. It's a Chelsea head that meets it though, and then cleared off the line. United struggling to get it clear. It's going to drop for Harder, and she's going to put Chelsea in front. Pernille Harder on the half hour. Chelsea's dominance rewarded with a goal. She was quickest to react to the loose ball. And the Blues deservedly ahead. Smith. Touched infield by Galton. Here's Smith again. Lauren James. Lovely footwork. She's got it back as well. Can she work an angle for a shot here? James! Oh, it's a brilliant goal. Risa's little sister steps off the bench to draw Manchester United level. What a talent the teenager is. A moment of individual brilliance, and we're all square. Kirby put a foot in to win it back. Here's Yi, looking for room for a shot maybe. Blocked at source. Kerr has another go. And once again, Herbst is equal to it. From the key battle of the game, this one. So far, Mary Herbst is coming out on top. Huge thump upfield. It's gone all the way through. Here's Kirby. She's one-on-one. Can Kirby finish? Oh, yes, she can. Super Fran at it again. He doesn't get any more Route 1 than that. But is that the goal that sends Chelsea top of the table?
Well, that one took the Blues top at Man United's expense. That's what they're trying to do again tonight here, because Manchester United have been playing more, frankly, than Chelsea and Man U, and indeed Man City played and won at the weekend, while the Blues game away at Bristol Rovers ended up being called off that day because of all the snow and the dodgy weather. So Chelsea playing catch-up in that regard. 2 games in hand on Man United and 1 on Manchester City. This is a game they lost not because of the weekend weather, but because of COVID issues with Aston Villa. 2 goals up on Aston Villa. Let's have another quick check on those for those joining us on the Fifth Stand app, following the conclusion of the Wolves match for the men's first team. Sam Kerr drilling in an absolute beaut there after Natalie Haig just nodded it down quite helpfully, but goodness, it still needed some finishing. And, Lisa Weiss, who's a decent keeper, get a hand on that. It's had an enormous amount to do other than pick the ball out of her net. A couple of crosses to catch. But this second goal here, quality delivery, isn't it, Sam?
It really is, yeah. She put in a little sighter just prior to that, and it's just really aggressive striking play. It was a fantastic finish. Linked up well, she led the line well, and you need to be scoring goals at this team at the moment, otherwise you're not going to play in the big games, I would suggest, because there's so many options. You need to be finding a target, and that second goal gives them a nice cushion. Should be able to go out and relax. Be very surprised if Villa can rescue something from this game now. That second goal's often the hardest one to find, so hopefully we're in store for some more chances in the second period.
There's one more goal to definitively kill the contest. You would suspect 2 ought to be enough. We shall see. Doesn't look like any changes yet from Emma Hayes. She made enough from the last outing as it was tonight, so lots of players getting lots of good minutes. Sam Kerr, the creator of the second, the scorer of the first, having an enjoyable Chelsea debut season by her own very high standards, as Sam has already alluded to. There could even have been even more goals. Villa with it all to do. And suspects their fate will not entirely be determined by games like this. They've got one draw and a couple of wins. Lost the other 7 outings in the league thus far, but it is their first season in the top flight. They're not miles off, they're only behind West Ham on goal difference and a couple of points off Brighton, so from Villa's point of view, still very much within the battle. Definitely confirmed no Chelsea change, incidentally, for this second 45. So far so good for Chelsea's resident MBE. 3 times a league winner, 2 FA Cups, a Conti Cup and a Spring Series, which I want to count, so I'm going to. Aston Villa, incidentally, have made a change. Shania Hales, who we saw getting treatment in that first half, is off, with Caroline Siems, the German, her replacement. ...45 minutes away from history. Chelsea's women here. Quite apart from that beaten run, it will also be 8 wins in a row in all competitions. Just too much on that for Kerr. Clipped out. Here is Eden Hazard. Under pressure immediately from England. Melda to Harder. She continued her run. It's good fluidity here. Lovely football. Quite such great footing as it turned out for Pernille Harder, but Chelsea still got it. Charles. Eriksson here scored when these two met in the League Cup last season. League Cup final that had Bethany England written all over it. Scored early and late for the 2-1 win in the final. Talking about how Emma Hayes doesn't mince her words. I remember her saying after that win, you know, you've just won a cup, probably don't think about being overly self-effacing, but she was. She said the best team didn't win that, but the most resilient team did. Very Emma Hayes. And the side coming forward looking for number 3 here. England span with it. The ricochet could go anywhere and still might. Looks as if Villa should be able to hack it clear.
Terrific play by Charles down the left-hand side once more, but then it just became a little bit messy. Bethany England unable to react to the ricochet to get the strike away. Villa survive. Maybe could have just reacted a bit quicker. Just needed to move her feet and maybe have a swing with the left foot. Showed that she's more than capable when she struck the crossbar in the first half, but opted to take it in on that occasion.
Iwabuchi chasing around gamely. Yeah, diminutive forward, Villa's new arrival, but so far very frustrated. There will be easier games than this, probably all of them, certainly most. Fleming has found Mjelde, who's up. Plenty of options here as Kerr looks for another cross. This one's a bit too deep. They all are. Last player back, Lily Bright. Mjelde. That's a lovely weight of pass. And Stina Larsson was in there for a minute. I would have said actually I made her favourite for a second. I thought she might get toe to the ball first.
It was Eriksson's toe, wasn't it? Really good defending. She said looked to be second favourite there, but recovered brilliantly just to get a toe in. Then Holly Telford still probably not got much of a sweat on, but bright enough to pop the ball back to the defender to build from the back.
Lisa is the call, and indeed it is taken cleanly. Calmly done. Calmly, Carly. Been watching this from a long way off, mostly. Pernille Harder now. Kerr, Mjelde on a bike. Did well to get across it from here. And couldn't quite do it. And after a little discussion, it will be a goal kick.
You're all a bit narrow there, wasn't it? Harder initially with the ball when it came right. That touch there just narrowed the angle, took it towards the byline, unable to wrap her right foot around it. The width did come eventually from Mjelde. Still 6 minutes into the second half, not really fashioned anything on Aston Villa's goal.
Sophie Hayward here, winning a free kick as well. that is hugely wasteful. It's only the second chance they've had to really deliver some quality into the Chelsea box. Yes, it was a long way out, but got to pose more of a threat than that from a rare chance to do so. Sante's ball cut out. It's a touch for Telford. For England, who tried to release it first time. Nice ball played in between the lines by Mjelde. Slick moments, but not an entirely impressive 53 minutes by Chelsea's own high standards. I think it would be fair to say. There have been better performances than this season. Clearly at the moment this is more than enough.
Interesting to see what the plan is really in terms of the substitutions. If half an hour is going to be given to Kirby and G, or if they're just going to be up for the weekend, and this is going to be the 11 to try and put on a performance in this second half. I mean, still not been worked defensively, but I'd like to think with a 2-goal cushion they'll have the platform to go and really showcase their ability in this second half and rack up a few more goals. Not happened to this point. Sevilla given a better account of themselves since the half-time whistle.
Maybe some of that organisation you were talking about with Marcus Bignut. So, just there, watching on. Evers allowing Hayward to take over. Seeing the pass she was trying. Chelsea can strike before Villa get organised. That's a really good pass from Engel to Pernille Harder. Taking up a perfect position there in that gap. Kerr on the drive. That was a bit more incisive. Might still come to something. There's plenty forward as Mjelde crosses. Too close to the keeper. But just a bit more oomph about Chelsea there, Sam. That's actually been missing a fair bit tonight, I think.
Yeah, Harder in that kind of number 10 position. Again, always playing on the half turn. Her first touch immaculate, takes it away from the marker, keeps the momentum with the attack. Does that consistently, done it consistently throughout the 55 minutes so far. Like, as you said, injected a little bit of energy and pace and directness down the right hand side. A shame that Mjelde's delivery was cut out. But yeah, there's flashes from Harder, isn't there? Just need to get her maybe running beyond the striker at times as well.
You get the moments of zipping around a bit, but you felt more of them. I don't just mean her at all there, I mean the team in general. Maybe a bit like the first team it's level at the moment. A few too many passes, just a little bit zippier. But Villa doing their defensive jobs there and being cheered on in doing so.
Yeah, he'll be pleased, I think, Marcus Bignot, with the shape of the team at times. Not being cut open, we've spoken of on a few occasions. Few Chelsea efforts from distance, the 2 goals obviously, but we're not talking about stacks of chances on Vice's goal, so I think he'll be pretty pleased that they can frustrate some of the stronger sides in the division. They'll get better.
Kerr into England, and the spin will take it away. It's halfway to Fran Kirby, by the way, tonight with that goal. 4 league goals, Fran Kirby 8. Hat-trick is the bid for Bethany England, see if she can top the charts 3 years running. Great ball is the call, and it was, and you wonder why Nadine Hansen maybe didn't attack it just a little more. That was an awkward place for it to bounce, wasn't it, Sam?
Yeah, maybe if Larson wasn't involved in the build-up, that could have had a different outcome. She's wide on the right-hand side, building the play and the delivery. You could see the confusion within the Chelsea ranks, and Hansen, as you said, Ben, just doesn't gamble, doesn't expect it to have that quality on it and hit the exact right spot. Was it edge of the 6-yard box? Should never be able to just bounce to safety there with Collie Telford stuck to her line.
So the lead still, as it was after half an hour or so. Bethany England nodded in number 2. Much more than half an hour to go now. Looked like a pull on the collarbone area there for Pernille Harder on Irobuchi. Aston Villa free kick. That's a little on the short side. Santis say strong, that's well defended. No semblance of a foul at all, just got a body in front of Pernille Harder, and then there's no way through. Eriksson keeps it moving. Pulling out to wide left as Fleming then brings it back to the right. Milder. Kerr's angle to cross cut off then. Ingle. Eriksson. Villa shuffling across and doing defensive duty. Fleming here. Harder. Patient from Chelsea and just off target from Pernille Harder. It's a shame.
She doesn't catch the strike. That left foot again drags it somewhat, but Fleming involved again. Enjoyed her performance this evening and went in with another intelligent pass square. It's a good sight of goal. Trying to find that far corner.
Charles. And again. Been a comfortable enough first start at this level for Jessie Fleming in midfield. She'll be one of those that plays the full 90. You're in is the call. Christina Larsson, as she wasn't in, because Carly Telford read it, and England has read this long ball too. Just waiting for help to arrive in the middle. Drops for Fleming. Back to England. No way through with the shot, so it's the crossfield pass. Ball hit it, Ingle. Why not? From that kind of range after what she did last week. That was rare though, in fairness.
A good strike, just cutting across the ball, but a couple of yards wide of the near post. Patient play. England with a good pick out, right, and again sensible. Just didn't get the cut on it, I suppose. Lovely shape though. Once again, nice technique. Should get more.
So our only goal of the season thus far, that absolute beauty in extra time, the cup win at City. Got 4 last year. Another Villa change here, that's Amy West taking the place in midfield, it seems. It's straight into the action there. Avers it was who went off. Little turn around the corner there. Larson and Iwabuchi, we don't know what they're like as a double act because they've not had a chance to play it, really, those two between them at all. That was the intention a moment ago there, but it didn't happen, and a similar breakdown has happened up top for the Blues here. Half an hour to play. Chelsea heading top of the table. And well en route to beating a record they hold jointly with Manchester City, currently standing at 31 unbeaten WSL games. Well, they're not flagging Villa. I thought by this point, with the amount of chasing they've been doing, Sam, that they might actually start to leave some gaps. But if anything, they're closing them pretty tightly and forcing balls like that.
Yeah, and you sense they may get that chance on the counter attack. Chelsea need to keep the standards up. Fleming, I think, has had a really good first game actually, Ben. Enjoyed her performance, doesn't look out of place whatsoever. Looks like she knows that position inside out, kept it ticking, looks confident. So I think there's plus points, but of course, given the way Chelsea started the game, you'd expect it to have been more comfortable at this stage in terms of the scoreline. I think there'll be a frustration if they don't leave with more than 2.
Technically, Villa's still in the contest, but they're threatened so little that you would be surprised if they got 1. That can always happen. 2, super surprised. Chelsea looking for number 3 to make absolutely sure. And they might have the chance to do so from a corner here. Two years ago today, it was the last league defeat. Obviously, we've had some spring and summer interludes, both foreseen and otherwise since then. But that's what it was 32 games ago. A home defeat to Birmingham in the WSL, 27th of January 2019.
Corner of the pitch leads a bit of TLC, doesn't it?
It does.
It's going to be problematic in the next couple of weeks.
Walsall groundsman, work to do. Asante didn't get much of that. Didn't get much game time at Chelsea either, Anita Asante. Joined Villa last summer. And he played a dozen times in 3 years, actually. Fringe player for Emma Hayes. Nice weight on the pass there. Neat back heel to evade Caroline Sims. Wrighton, Charles seem to have got forward quite so much in this second half. Leave Charles. Ingle into Kerr. Still been at arm's length, really. Here comes Mjelde. Another corner.
Yeah, initially they moved it well, across to the left-hand side, but then just got a little bit slow once more. Sophie Ingle with a good pass to speed. Proceedings up. This was lovely from Millie Bright. Nowhere to go. Oh, it's a nutmeg as well. Tremendous.
Not necessarily a manoeuvre you'd associate with Millie Bright. I can say that when I'm this far away. Taking her place in the middle for this corner. It wasn't delivered well, but it's been cleared by Asante. Straight to Wrighton, and then the shot comes in for 3-0 from Pernille Harder. Well, twice tonight, Villa have created their own problems, but again, the quality of the finish is there, with Harder making it 3 to go with the 3 points.
And there's that end product. She had a really good game. There's been some real flashes of brilliance. Once more, Wrighton's awareness, presence of mind, just to slip it to someone in a better position. Third time lucky for Harder. She's had the two-sighters on her left foot, and that one absolutely arrows into the bottom corner, perfectly placed. That should be that.
Quarter of the game to go. The job is certainly done. And there's a clean sheet to keep. And Emma Hayes is going to bring on Drew Spence. And there she is, right on cue. The lesser spotted Drew Spence these days, only played 24 minutes in all competitions this season of football. It's Drew, one of the original title winners of 2015, still at the club. Free kick, seen with the foul on Harder. Maybe this will be the key for Emma Hayes to make that first change, or maybe not. Wrighton. Oh, it's such an awkward ball. You can't defend against quality like that unless your keeper comes and gets it, but the keeper didn't come and get it. And it's 4-0. I think it was Eriksson on the slide, Sam, and if the keeper doesn't come for that, that's so awful for defenders to have to try and deal with, isn't it?
It is. It's a nice ball, but you expect Rice to come and take that in the 6-yard box, but Eriksson, real threat, attacks things so well. Wrighton's got her arms in the air. She knows that she's flighted in a lovely delivery.
She set up another goal.
Yeah.
A hand in 3 of the 4 now, 20 to play.
Eriksson in terrific form. Right on the spot there, but
Vice has got to go for that. That's a strong one. It's a very strong one. And it's Caroline Seam who's just come on, who felt the full force. I think Millie Bright there. Heard the shout from the bench if she got the ball. Seems, if she is in pain, looks to be taking it pretty well. This might be a little bit crunchy. Millie Bright, no thanks. Oof. Wallop.
Yeah, I winced in real time, and I haven't really changed my facial expression there. No doubt she takes the ball, and the follow-through does catch.
She must have seen it coming too. That would be the only thing you would say that might be helpful for her, is that, I mean, apart from the sheer volume of fear running through as she saw Millie Bright about to come and hit her with a 50-50. We're going to have a, just to make you wince even more, is another look at the...
Yeah, I think she'll do well to escape without a card there.
That's a hefty challenge.
It doesn't seem to always make too much of a difference, playing the ball first now. If it is reckless, the follow through invariably it's a yellow.
Correct.
Or you can see red.
That is the definition they always put on it, isn't it? I believe, unless they've changed the law since I last looked. If it is deemed reckless, is yellow. Dangerous is red. That is the referee's wording. Sometimes you hear people saying, well, it's a reckless challenge, you had to go off. Well, if it was technically reckless, you shouldn't have to go off. But
please, she looks okay. Anyway,
yeah, maybe
challenge.
There's just an element of her riding the challenge as well, not riding it, but you know what I mean. Clearly, it's caught her, but as in when you know it's coming, as opposed to maybe if it's from the side, on your blind side or something. But Drew Spence is on here for Pernille Harder. She's going to get 20 minutes off, having scored. Pernille Harder, and welcome back, Drew Spence. And, the first job is to be part of the defensive effort there. First time I saw her play in the flesh, she was in central midfield with Millie Bright. They were hard-working axis in there. Millie Bright has long since become a centre-back. Sam mentioned at the top of the game that Villa were hit for 7 by City not so long ago, but they're in here for one of their own. It's a great chance. It's the first proper save for Carly Telford of the game, and somehow Iwabuchi was completely alone there. How?
Not entirely sure. She just suddenly appeared. Hansen plays a lovely pass. Mjelder's caught really in field. Difficult to tell why she's come across there to be right on the toes of Millie Bright, but means she has to dart to her right-hand side. Iwabuchi cannot find that far corner.
Should score.
Yeah, it got directed towards the far post.
I wonder if she's gone for through the legs there or just gone for power. Looked like she might have been trying to go through Carly Telford's legs, but as you say, far post seemed to be it. But that would have been 2-2 for Villa's new forward. First remote glimpse of any description that she's had of goal, and it's a really clear one, and Chelsea's clean sheet stays, but with a fair bit of fortune about it.
It's a really good save. Goalkeeper's starting to get a bit more credit for not gambling, staying strong and waiting for the strike to actually come their way. She gets her rewards there. Telford would have been easy to preempt which direction the finish was going to go, and then you're in trouble.
Spence. So many good options have arrived in that Chelsea squad, decorated squad. Spence's time as a regular performer has been limited in recent times. Just too much on the little flip round the corner for Maren Mjelder. Villa change here, with Emma Follis coming on. Crossed the divide. Was a Birmingham player. Now in their second season with the Villa. Scored 6 goals in the promotion push. She'd have liked that chance that Iwabuchi's just passed up. Mjelder will be relieved, having gone walkabout for it. See if they can deliver a bit better quality here. Haig with it. That'll do. Down. Just too much on that from Smita Ali. 13 to play, plus whatever is added on here. Another successful night for a team who are getting so used to winning. Linnea Luco knows the contest is over. She knows the race is a long one when you're trying to build up a club. Sam, you were talking earlier about how there was a gap for Chelsea to Wolfsburg, for instance, in the early Champions League years. There's going to be a gap in the WSL when you're a promoted club. And it's a long process, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. I was thinking that in the first half, actually. There's one thing, deciding you're going to go for it, and then it's acquiring the right coach, the right players, getting the interest risen every season, I suppose, to get people to want to come and join, and supporters through the gates when they're allowed back as well. It's all part of the project and part of the plan, I'm sure, so it's not going to happen overnight. It's taken Chelsea quite a number of years themselves. Look at Manchester United this year as well. Now we're talking about them maybe, what, 1 or 2 years' time, being a real force. And I think they've taken everyone by surprise this season, where they're positioned, but it doesn't happen overnight.
Former Chelsea captain in charge there, and Casey Stoney. So you arrive a bit later to the party and take a bit of time to catch up. Villa, Man U, Spurs as well, of course. Iwabuchi challenged.
Fleming's that's playing a bit higher now. Drew Spence looks to be playing alongside Ingle. And just going and replacing the position that Harder occupied for a majority of this game. Obviously started wide on the right-hand side, but again, I think that's such a plus point for this Chelsea squad now, let alone the starting 11. So many versatile players. You don't have to make substitutions. You can make in-game changes with the personnel you got on there, and didn't see that a few years ago. You could kind of predict what the setup was going to be and wouldn't change too much within the game. We've seen loads of different permutations already this season and in this particular game.
There's a ball on there, there's a couple of options. So this is Stina Larsson, pushed a little wide, but two in the middle, and won't reach them, or not yet anyway. Millie Bright was in the way. We're going to see a very special moment for two young Chelsea players shortly. Emma Hayes just taking a couple of teens through their paces on the touchline. Might see an offside flag there, but it didn't go up against Emma Follis. 10 to play. The lead more than comfortable enough for the points, and more than comfortable enough to experiment a little. If the ball ever goes out of play, of course. Yelled up. There's something entirely disconcerting about talking about footballers born in 2003, but it's about to happen here. Referee looking across to see if it will happen now, and indeed it will. Debuts coming shortly. I'm going to take the corner first. Yes, they will. The wait goes on a little longer. Short to Milder, shortish anyway. He's just trying to pull Villa out. Shape and position. Ingle. Her first touch had been better there. I wonder if she might have had a go. Spence back to Charles. And now Ingle again. And an anxious wait for the 17-year-olds hoping for a debut. Get me on, Gaffer. Iwabuchi's pinched it. Rare foray forward for Villa. Seems galloping up the left. It's well defended by Mjelde. That's a good ball. Stina Larsson going in there to try and guide the header. Carly Telford had it covered even if it had been on target, which it wasn't. Neve Charles will come off. Will have enjoyed a start. That's Georgia Fox who's going to take her place. A great moment. 17 in August, Georgia Fox and another England Youth International with her there, Aggie Beaver-Jones. 2 debutantes. And what a great moment. And there's Magda Eriksson just with a little calming word for Georgia Fox. Can depart early, having enjoyed a successful night. A hat-trick of assists for her. There's an Aston Villa change too here with Nadine Hansen departing. And Diana Silva, Portuguese player, replacing her. It's not going to be the equalising hero here, the number 19 who's gone up top for Villa there. Scored in the 91st minute to get a point last time out in the match against Reading. She's on the sprint here with Stina Larsson, hoping for something coming into that Chelsea box, and it might be coming. No, just a heavy touch that allowed Eriksson in. It will be a Villa corner, however.
Eriksson defending it well. They'll be keen to get that clean sheet. Obviously, a couple of debutants will be keen to get on the ball and have a couple of touches before the evening comes to an end, but yeah, a real show of faith, I suppose. Could have been handed this in one of the cup competitions, one of the lesser games. I know the game is won tonight, but great chance for the next generation.
Simple header out there for Sam Kerr. 5 minutes to go. There were barely 2.5 gone when she opened the scoring with a cracking half volley. That's well defended by Eriksson. Villa just putting on a bit of squeeze and pressure here. Up towards Larsson. England on the cover. She's the scorer of the second goal, having hit the bar with a lovely effort from the edge of the D before that. Good header set up by the Kerr cross. As Chelsea, or rather had Chelsea 2 up at the break, 2 more have followed since, if you're joining us late. Chelsea going top of the table. Above Man U, having played 1 game fewer, incidentally, even after this. That's through the legs and kept in. Jones on the chase there. Scored goals for England at youth level. Tottenham next. Spurs coming to Kings Meadow on Sunday. It's a remarkable season. This is the 19th game across the competition, Sam. It will be a 16th win. It's very high standards. Almost fell for Fleming there. Asante cleared. Kerr took her time. And Anita Asante got a piece of it. 3 minutes to go, that was a whisker away from being 5, as everything seemed to stand still for a minute there.
Yeah, Asante with a good block. And I was relieved to see it just skid beyond the post. Good little nick, actually, from Kerr. Sensed where the ball was going to go. Played infield, reads it. Unfortunately, just a fraction wide.
Deep delivery. Really bright. Look at that. Fantastic work into Spence. And I think that's going to be a free kick for that challenge on Spence. We've hit 88. And this is an even more dangerous set piece than the corner that preceded it. Who's that fleet-footed winger out there?
Kept it alive really well. And Drew Spence returned the ball to Millie Bright, but just caught a fraction late. And yeah, another opportunity to add some gloss. And I'd be thinking, if I was one of those young substitutes, here's my moment. Be aggressive, make your movement. Hope that you can end your debut night with a goal.
Too far for everybody. No one loitering round the back with intent, sadly. I think anything more than 4, being totally honest, would possibly be a little flattering. Clearly Chelsea are by some distance a better side than Aston Villa, but you know, it's been an absolute thrashing in that sense. You know, said it at half-time, find myself thinking it again at full-time. Lisa Weiss has not really made saves. 4 goals have gone past. There's been a couple of nearlies, but normally someone wins by this kind of margin, you think. They probably taken 4 of maybe 15 good chances to score goals, but there's probably only been about 6. Still time for more now, though, as we approach stoppage time. The quick 3 in the middle. Another corner coming.
It's done well, Fox. A couple of lovely touches over a left back. It's probably harder to affect the game coming on as a midfielder or a forward player. Chelsea have had so much of the ball. It's given her an opportunity to have a few nice early touches and stroked it around lovely. Looks like a good athlete.
Stoppage time and a sloppy, muddy corner incoming. Towards Bethany, England, into the first of 3 added minutes. Millie Bright has just kept it in. Carly Telford had 1 big save to make, 1 bit of swift footwork, but a very quiet evening, really. Looks like it'll be a clean sheet, which will be her first of this league campaign in what is only her 2nd game. Played the 1-1 draw with United early season. In fact, it was the WSL Open, wasn't it, that Man U game? There was the Shield match before that against Man City. It's Chelsea 1, 2 goals to 0. And the only block, that surprise game that Sam mentioned earlier, the FA Cup defeat 2-1. No one saw that coming, not even Everton, who won it. Fleming, lovely ball, they want a flag, they'll get it too. It looked very much as if Kerr had been caught upfield, and indeed she was.
Yeah, Kerr wide on the left-hand side now, allowing Beaver Jones, I think, to occupy the position she's been playing for the majority of the game on the right-hand side. So yeah, 3rd position of the night for Kerr, but ends the evening with a goal and an assist, and another good night's work.
Neatly done by Fleming. Should have done her own personal caused no harm at all with this. Imagine if she added a goal. It's a lovely pass instead to Kerr. She wants the goal instead. Wonder if Fleming might have pulled the trigger, entirely within her right to do there. Played really well in her first league start as a Chelsea player, the Canadian, Jessie Fleming. Spence. Be away by Asante.
It's been quite an understated performance, hasn't it? Just kept it ticking. Nice and tidy on the ball. Probably had as many touches as anyone on the pitch, I would say. Rarely giving it away.
England with the blast, not far off. That will surely be the last action of a history-making performance. So certainly result for these Chelsea women. That would have been the gloss you were talking about, Sam.
Yeah, again the awareness to get turned. No one tight. And very little back lift as well. Plenty of power. Been impressed with Bethany England tonight. Led the line well.
Job done and history made. Chelsea go top of the WSL table, and it is 32 unbeaten in league play for this still relatively young league. That is a new record. 2 years to the day since being beaten by Birmingham. Chelsea have beaten a mark set by themselves and Manchester City of 31, and they've done it here, frankly, at a canter. Not an absolutely five-star display, but a four-star one, more than enough to see off Aston Villa. 2 goals in the first half and 2 in the second. Emma Hayes and her team are history makers, and they are league leaders. They have beaten Aston Villa by 4 goals to 0. Quick recap of the goals here. Sam, the first was a beauty from Sam Kerr.
Yeah, and the timing really important, I suppose, tonight for Chelsea, and deflated Aston Villa. I thought it was a speculative delivery, should have been dealt with, but Kerr's finish was exceptional, and yeah, showed all her quality in doing it year after year. Great connection. Didn't have to be in the corner because the power was so much.
Jessie Fleming getting that move going there. Beautiful ball in from the goal scorer Kerr to find the head of Bethany England for 2-0.
Yeah, and they're well stocked, Aston Villa. You can see all the bodies back there, but loads of space in the wide area for Kerr to deliver, and all about determination, desire. The opposition players just don't get off the ground there. Bethany England powers it into the top corner, deserved her goal.
Third goal came from a corner, poorly taken but cleared even worse. Guro right and teeing up Pernille Harder there. That more about accuracy than power. Right in the corner for 3-0, and that was definitely game over, and Guro Wrighton with another assist here. Good ball to a dangerous area. Keeper didn't come, probably should have, and Magda Eriksson sliding home from no range at all, Sam.
Yeah, I think the Aston Villa defenders, having seen it a few times, are expecting Vice to come there and claim. They've just kind of allowed Eriksson to run off them. Great desire from the defender once more, who's having a real purple patch currently, I would say, in everything she's doing, but that was far too easy from the Villa perspective. But really good Chelsea win, good performance.
A team huddle in the Midlands Mizzle, and a couple of debuts as well to enjoy. Lots to enjoy about that. Let's have a little post-match reaction now. Our man pitch side, Matt Davies-Adams, is with Sam Kerr.
Nice work.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, this was one of our games in hand, so it's always hard coming down here or up here, wherever we are. But yeah, it was a good team performance. A lot of people played minutes, and yeah, a lot of goal scorers.
Goal, decent strike as well. Nice cushion volley. Happy with that?
Yeah, I surprised myself there, left foot. But yeah, I mean, happy to contribute to the team and started us off well.
To the top of the table as well. Keep that pressure on the teams below us. That's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think we're just taking every game as it comes, one game at a time, and yeah, win's a win for us, and we're just focusing on ourselves.
What about this unbeaten record? Is it something that you were aware of? Does it matter much to players?
I think the girls that have been here a long time were aware of it. I wasn't really going into the game, but it's always nice and something that we're really proud of, and it's nice to be a part of.
Sets us up nicely for the London derby on Sunday, this, doesn't it? It's always a big game against Spurs. Looking forward to that. Yeah,
it's always good. It'll be nice to be back at home, not to travel, but yeah, it's always a good game against Spurs.
Well done, terrific goal. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a fine first season for Sam Kerr. It's a long way from Australia to Walsall, but she scored a beautiful goal tonight, that's for sure. And then she set one up for Bethany England as well, and I believe Bethany is with Matt as well. Somewhere, although, yes, over we go.
Bethany, well done. 4 goals, top of the league. Got to be happy with that.
Yeah, very happy. I think we knew coming in was going to be a tough test. I think, obviously, the new manager coming in for him, and I've had experience with him in the past, and he's a good manager, and I know he'd set him up really well, and they made it tough for us out there today, but obviously we got the job done, and I'm happy for the girls that scored.
What was it like playing in a 2 with Sam? Do you like that, or do you prefer to just be yourself up front?
No, I'm happy playing in a 2. Obviously you got players closer to you, easier to combine and stuff, but whichever formation we play, we've always got good links between players, and yeah, it's just about keeping that good form and good run in front of goal, and thankfully we put 4 good goals today.
This unbeaten run, 32 games, it's phenomenal. How proud are you to be a part of that?
Very proud. I mean, it's a big achievement for the club and for us as players, and every single person has made a part of that, whether that's players from last season and this season, the new players coming in. Everyone's put the work in to make that achievement happen, so it's a great honour to be part of that.
Well, congratulations. Go and get dry.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks.
4th WSL goal of the season for Bethany England tonight. She almost had a 5th with a wonderful effort off the crossbar there. And having heard from the first 2 goal scorers, we are shortly to hear from the history-making boss. Emma Hayes has done so much in charge of this football club, but now there's a new record as well, and Emma is with Matt.
Emma, well done. We'll get on to the significance of the result soon enough, but what about the performance from your team? Exceptional tonight.
I mean, we know that this is a tough place to come. The ground is quite boggy, so I thought we moved the ball really well. In the first half, I thought 2-0 was justified, 2 quality goals, and happy for both my strikers. You know, the pressure's always on for them to score goals, so happy at half-time. Thought second half took us a while to get going. 2 more quality goals, and it's great to bring on 2 young players for the debuts tonight.
Difficult fixture, not just in terms of the pitch, but obviously the added motivation for Villa playing in front of a new manager. You knew that was going to add something extra to the game.
I know that manager as well. I knew it was going to be difficult to break down, and the days of winning here easily have ended. I think this is going to be a difficult place to come to, but I'm really pleased with the result and the fact that we've been able to get the entire squad sort of playing games in and around this.
Talk about the record then, 32 games unbeaten. What does it mean to you personally?
You know what, any time anybody speaks about it, I refuse to have a conversation about it, because I think you have to stay so present in this business that if you start looking up a league table, you look at those results, and all of a sudden it's taken away, you're faced with the disappointments, or you've run away with yourself. So to actually achieve it is, just said this to the players, it's not a trophy, but it's a huge milestone in a hugely competitive league. This team will go down in history. I'm certain of it. I know that sometimes when you're winning a lot, there's just that expectation you're going to keep doing it. You know, this is the best Chelsea team that I've ever had, and I know the fans appreciate that. And it would have been great to celebrate with them, but I'm you know, that's a proud record tonight.
When did you become aware that it was getting closer, and is that something that you let get into the camp, or?
Rich Godden let me know. He let me know, and I think I let Paul know, and I kept saying I don't want to talk about it, and then he let other comms. I said I don't want to talk about it. I don't want anything to do with it until that moment came. So I knew coming into the game, if we won, that we would achieve that, but I don't focus on it, because I've got so much experience. I understand what you have to do to perform in every single moment.
Obviously you need talented footballers to achieve something like this, but you need personalities, you need that mentality, strength of character. It's something that goes right through this group, isn't it?
Somebody asked me this question, Annie asked me this question earlier. She said, how do you know? How do you know what you're recruiting, and why do I get it right so many times? I'm like, because at the heart of it, I pick good humans. And if I feel in the recruitment process that someone's not committed to the same ambitions, they're not committed to the same ideas around teams, I won't bring them to the club. And there's some top players who are not in a Chelsea shirt for that reason. So I'm happy I stand by that value. I've learned that through failures in coaching, that if you compromise that, you compromise everything. So I'm proud to represent the great group that we have.
Players on the pitch and yourself and your coaching staff, there's a whole team that works behind the scenes. There are players who haven't been involved tonight. It is a collective effort. It has to be to achieve something like this.
Yeah, I mean, we're often referred to as a bit of a machine in the way we operate. It has to be with high performance. It has to be with the demands and the expectations we place. This badge deserves the best. And as I said, I'm really proud to produce a team that are champions of England, and hopefully we go on to more silverware in my time.
Amazing achievement. You're right to be incredibly proud of it. Congratulations. We look forward to you setting more records.
Thanks very much. See you.
Always a good interview subject, Emma Hayes. I always enjoyed listening to her. She doesn't mix her words. It is a wonderful achievement. That's just about it from Sam Parkin and I, but we do have time to tell you about another boss that we know far less about. We're going to find out more live tomorrow on the Fifth Stand Up from 1:30. Thomas Tuchel's first press conference as Chelsea boss, so make sure you don't miss that. We've also got live PL2 action. The Blues taking on Brighton. That is from 5 o'clock on Friday. Remember, it's Burnley next in the early kickoff on Sunday at the Bridge for the first team. Chelsea's women are back on top of the pile, and they are record breakers with it. 4-0 winners over Aston Villa tonight from Sam Parkin and I. It's goodbye.